mate. Long time no see.
Yeah, I know,
That'll become
right?
more relevant in a second.
God, you're
Wait to find out what happens next, because we've had a few hiccups.
Welcome to episode 26, season 3, Talks with Dorks, your go-to geek podcast. And it's one of those podcasts that if you're a dork, you're going to love this podcast because we do podcast things with dorks. It's a lot to unpack in the first few sentences. It's another late Tuesday night for us. We were waiting for Woody, but turns out I'd had a message from him a while ago that I hadn't read saying he weren't joining us. So now we're recording. Kurt, Laferde, boys, how we doing?
I'm all good, mate. Long time no see.
Yeah, I know,
That'll become
right?
more relevant in a second. But
It's like I'm still wearing the same clothes. I literally am not taking this jumper off. If you are just listening, but you need to go check the video out because we got some new hoodies. Well, I've got one. Damo's got one. The other boys, Kurt, you will probably get yours this week, but the other two, I've got to figure out. It's come from Sheffield, and it's now got to go back up to Leeds to get to Leeds and Donny to get to Woody and Laferde. But I'll just point these hoodies out though. Look, right, Woody's got we've got Power Ranger ones. Yeah. Power Ranger colours.
we all maintain Woody has lucked out with the fact that he's the Black Ranger. Like that Black
Ranger
noise.
Hoodie. They're all sick, but the black, it's just I love a black hoodie. I've always loved the black hoodie, but also the fact that I'm the Green Ranger out of the crew. You know what I'm saying?
That's what you think.
Thank you, Tony. We love you. We miss you hanging around us a bit more, like having a life and doing all the grown-up stuff you're doing. Do you miss him?
So let's say Ryan's made himself sad now.
I'm a little bit sad. I miss Tony. Only because he's bought me something. Next week I won't care. But yeah, boys, we've. Laferde's not been here for a few weeks. We've got stuff to talk about. I've got stuff to talk about. I don't know if you guys have. One thing I'm going to point out is we are getting that much closer and closer, as we keep saying, to Back in Time. And if you haven't already, please scan that QR code wherever it is along here. Get your tickets, come join us. Tickets have been reduced as well. We have dropped down the prices of all the tickets. Adult price was £15, it's now 12. Kids were 12, now they're 10. So go get your tickets. Family of 4, even cheaper than before.
Oh my god, he's a lyrical genius.
Oh, hey, that was good, wasn't it? That was
He's
good.
a poet, and he didn't even know he was rhyming those words.
Realised that.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine reference. Look it up.
Yeah, I know. Now number 5. That's the only one I always remember. But, okay, so Back in Time's getting closer. Me and Kurt actually caught up with a couple of the guys that are going to be at Back in Time because we mentioned this a bit later in the recording that you'll see. But a couple of things have happened. We were, if you remember a few weeks back, promoting that there was going to be a tag team match between the Showtime Darlings and the Strong Dads. The Showtime Darlings being Mr. Dexter and David
Bavara.
I didn't want to struggle to pronounce it because I'm getting used to the new surname. And yeah, Mr. Dexter and David
Bavara.
I want that as a sound clip. Bavara
Bavara.
versus RJ Singh and Sunset Skip. But you'll find out what has happened when that update comes a bit later on. We'll turn over to that a bit later on. Boys, like I said, I've got a couple of bits to talk about. But have you guys been up to anything, done anything? Kurt got older last time we recorded. Literally, we ended the record as he got older.
Yeah, literally during the recording of the podcast, it ticked over to midnight in literally the last minute we were recording. So I turned 31 on the podcast. And by the way, thank you very much for my little birthday present, guys. At the moment we're recording now, it came through.
Don't you fucking give it your welcome. You're the reason he got it later than ever.
Yeah, but I'm the reason he got it at all.
No.
Yeah,
No, to be fair,
Laferde, you were about literally. I'm not even lying to you. You were about an hour away from me texting you, going, "Don't worry, I'll put in my message that you were busy."
I haven't been around for a few weeks, and this is the treatment I get.
Well,
that's right. The first Monday's favourite out of all of you,
our
anyway.
friend's birthday, who he didn't tell us enough. It was his birthday that we found out it was about to be. Well, he'd reminded me a few days beforehand when we were in Basildon together, but mate, I won't remember that. I won't remember that. And then reminds us just as we were about to record that it's about to be his birthday while we're recording. He was like,
I did one
we ain't
worse.
got nothing.
I started that episode with a happy birthday balloon in the background. Just be like, I'm gonna be as subtle as a brick with this.
Right, and we pointed this out. Laferde, he says this now. When it was 3 of us, look at the size of our screens.
Tiny.
Right, the balloon was barely over that Funko next to the All-Ins thing on his
So
shelf.
no one was seeing that.
Yeah, I framed it up perfectly when I was on my own, forgetting about the fact that obviously when we're editing the podcast together, anytime the camera splits to 3 of us, I lose 2/3 of my screen, so you couldn't even see the thing that I was trying to very subtly hint at in my background, so I had to point it out. Although, despite all of that, nothing will top the look on Ryan's face as it dawned on him, oh shit.
It was because, reason being is we have this thing between our team, and it's been going on for over a year now, that birthdays generally will treat each other to a cameo. Third, you paid up.
No. Again, Kurt, you're welcome.
We can explain it a little bit now. It was the panic because obviously a cameo you can do within 24-hour cameos, but like sometimes they cost a fair amount more. And we looked, me and Woody come off here, and we're like, oh my god, we got to do this. We cannot like speak to the other boys now, other than Damo. Damo come on and joined us for gaming, and he was like, yeah, cool, I'm fine with that. Yeah, because obviously Damo's the newest member of the team. Like it's the first time he being told, yeah, you got to give us some money.
Yeah, he didn't
The
sign up
birthday
for
present
that.
of a guy you've never met.
Which, to be fair, by the way, the third keeps saying you're welcome is spectacularly relevant, considering
I'm
who
always
you got
relevant.
for me in the end.
He doesn't even get the reference, do you?
I don't have a fucking
Do you
clue
know
who
who
we
it
even
was?
got.
It was Damien Sandow from WWE.
Okay.
Do you remember
I
him?
remember the name. I might recognise him for seeing him.
He was like one of the most, as I said, Kurt said he was like
Let me have a
quite
look.
happy with it. He was one of the most underrated wrestlers WWE ever had. He was brilliant in the ring, but also hilarious.
Yeah.
One of his most famous gimmicks is he became the Miz's stunt double.
Oh, yeah, I remember him.
So yeah, he was doing all the bits like when the Miz was in the ring wrestling, he was copying the moves like on the outside.
So if
He
the
was
Miz got
taking-
thrown out the ring, he would jump into the ring and then yeet himself over the top rope.
A bit like that Tekken character, or Mokujin or whatever, that just copies everybody.
Yeah,
Is he called that guy who made a wood?
I got it.
I don't feel like I remember the name Mokujin. But yeah, so we got Damien Sandow as a cameo for him, and obviously, again, how we do it is it's always a little video from all of us first saying happy birthday and everything, and then it goes into the cameo. And I'm not gonna lie, it was rushed together. Like I said, I got it Saturday morning before I'd even gone on work. I got it, and I was like messaging the boys, like, boys, I need these videos off you ASAP. And I got everyone's, and then Sunday night, like Laferde, and I know Laferde's been busy, and I'm like, dude, like, just waiting on yours. Then he's like, yeah, I forgot. And then the next day went by. And then I think we were speaking about something else, and all of a sudden this video appeared. And I was like, cool, right, that's it. And that's when I sent the message.
That's all I wanted. I didn't want to talk to you, really.
Yeah, no. So we put him together a little cameo. So yeah, I mean, we've had some cool ones. I was looking because I've seen,
Yeah.
looked through the cameos. When you look at it, some of the cameos that have been done for each other, and some of them are on our socials. The boys got me, Chris Van Vliet.
Still a highlight for me.
Oh, Chris Van Vliet, and the fact that, do you know what? I think the highlight for me on that is the fact that he mentions me versus RJ and calls me Super Relic.
Dude did a full promo for you.
He did a full promo for me, hyping me up, and it kind of got me in the mood to go against RJ, to be honest. Laferde, who did you get?
Jenna, Frank.
Jenna Frank, of course you did.
And,
Of course you did.
Parky.
Jenna
I
Frank.
mean, that was a bit of a downside. But
And you had to get one of Parky. You had to get. I think didn't we sell it as that this is the cameo you've got?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
actually Parky. He was going to actually put like the cameo logo and everything as well, but he didn't have time to do it before he sent it over.
I was expecting it to turn up outside my house.
Woody got Jay from the In-Betweeners. We've had Hornswoggle and Billy Gunn, which because Billy Gunn was for Tony, and Tony's literally favourite wrestler is Billy Gunn, so he was well over the moon with that. And I can't remember if he told the story on here, so I don't know if he'll want to. But if you haven't heard it, go ask Tony his story about when he met Hornswoggle. It's quite funny. He upset Hornswoggle, a WWE superstar. Hornswoggle probably never wants to see Tony again.
I think I've heard this story. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, really good. Really, really good. I love it. Absolutely love it. I'm trying to think, has there been any others?
No, you got me a Zordon one, but that wasn't anything to do with this.
Yeah, that was funny enough, the anniversary come up.
Yeah, I've seen that, recently. Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it? Like, you think we got the cameo for Zordon, and now he's been on the podcast.
Yeah. Comes full
He wants to
circle.
come on again.
Shh, we're not meant to be talking about that. He's talking about coming out. I mean,
Nothing's official. Nothing's official yet. But he mentioned on the stream that he'd be very up for it again if the stars ever align. So you never know.
and all I'm saying is he said he was busy for the first couple of weeks of September, and it's now halfway through September. So I'm probably going to shoot him a message very, very soon and see when he's free.
Yeah.
Wonder what he's doing on October 26th.
I mean, if you're paying for his flights, we'll have him.
This is all on he can fucking teleport. You can try and get money out of me.
Oh, fair enough. Do you know what?
Fucking nailed that.
That's me getting cancelled. Sorry, Zordon.
Laferde. Guess what I got? Have I told you?
No, but I have seen them the other day. I made a friend in... Shit, where was I? Selfridges? I was looking at all the Power Rangers stuff and some guy come up and he's like, oh, cool, Power Rangers. He's telling his girlfriend, like, this stuff used to be really cool. And I just looked at him and was like, yeah, it still is. Then we just started talking about Power Rangers and his girlfriend, like, you two are such
I'm
losers.
sorry, used to be.
What? Like, the businessman in me is like, if that man you met is not one of the recent subscribers we've got, we need a conversation, Laferde, because this is what I've told you before. Always be closing, always be selling. Oh, you like Power Rangers? Oh, we've had Zord on our podcast. Give me your phone. I'll show. Did you take the phone off him and make sure he's
No,
subscribed?
his girlfriend dragged him away. We were just stood talking and she was like, I ain't got time for this, come on. She's like, come on, let's go look at Jellycats. And then I walked over there and that's where Neve was.
Meaning what happened really is the girlfriend comes over and goes, babe, the store clerk just told me this guy hangs around here a lot looking for people to talk about Power Rangers.
Yeah, I'm just
We need
always
to
at
go.
Selfridges, London, yeah.
Laferde's just wearing his shirt that just says "Ask me about Power Rangers." To be fair, talking about wearing shirts, like, you can't say the man doesn't rep the brand. He's showing up at work functions wearing
Ellen
shirts.
Road, yeah.
So I didn't understand when you say you were repping. You had your T-shirt or you never say die T-shirt.
Yeah.
But like, I was waiting for you to turn around and say like, people have been asking about it, been talking about it, and you.
Well,
just
no one
been
could
like,
see it
yeah.
because I was wearing a hoodie over the top of it.
Motherfucker.
It's a
You know how I've been waiting all day to say that to you.
I'm just going to read out the message that Laferde put in the group. Where is it?
I was sat there giggling to myself at the table thinking, how this will get him.
I'm literally looking at the message. This was at 9:33 a.m. Bear in mind, I was just about to live stream. I was very tired. We get a message into our WhatsApp group saying, boys, I'm at a conference for work at Ellen Road. Absolutely repping the Never Say Die. So I put the T-shirt. He put, yeah.
Yeah.
And then that was the end of the conversation. No explanation of how he was repping what was going on. Ellen Road, that's Everton's
No.
ground, isn't it?
Leeds United.
Who's Lee? Oh, of course it would be Leeds United's road stadium. So you were there and you had a hoodie on. So nobody saw the T-shirt.
Oh, it was there in spirit. I didn't see your guys' T-shirts there.
I haven't taken this off in nearly a week.
Yeah, but you weren't at Ellen Road, were you?
And we can smell you from here.
What? Yeah, fair enough. I have, but I might have been not been at Ellen Road, but I've been at a wrestling show. Which, funny enough, do you know what? Perfect segue into talking about that. I went to Gen Pro Online. Some of you may remember a few weeks back we had John Moores, the owner of Gen Pro Wrestling over in Kent, come on the show because it turns out me and him cut from the same cloth when it comes to wrestling through drop kicks, the original part of the original drop kicks guys, and they had a show, and obviously it was Jacob's birthday this weekend. He turned 8, so I took him and his friend Frank over to Gen Pro, and man, honestly, great show, great crowd, and the venue. Honestly, I can't remember if we talked about this in the later bit.
Yeah, a little bit, I think.
I can't remember if we spoke about it while waiting to record or when we actually record, but the venue is a nightclub called Ballin in Maidstone. It's dark, so it's cool.
It was off the recording.
Yeah, it was off the recording. So the balcony, there's a balcony that goes all the way around so people can sit down up there and look down. We were in like booths, like VIP booths that you get in a club, right next to it with a couple of other families. I think that one was one of the wrestlers' mums and someone else who was heavily like always at the shows at least. That was the thing. I kept getting called the podcast guy. I had wrestlers coming up to me going, "You're the podcast guy, right? The guy with the company over in Basildon." I'm like, yeah.
That is me.
Yeah. So there was that, and then the guy that was sat next to me, and he went, "You're the guy that John came on the podcast with, right?" He's like, "Yeah, you do have your own company." I was like, "Yeah, that's it. TDW, back in time, buy your tickets." So it was like, yeah, but the venue itself, like they had like a I explained it was like a mini stadium because they had like a lighting rig above that had screens on that had like their entrance videos and that when you come out and stuff above the ring, so it kind of looked like a WWE like within a stadium if you're sitting there and you see their big screens over the sky, but smaller because it's a nightclub. So it looked really, really good. The setup was really cool. The ring looked nice. I personally probably would have gone with a low setting ring in there just because that thing kind of would worry me about high flying moves. But then you've also got to think if it's too low, there's the balcony.
Yeah, there's the danger that we had, which is if you go for the high rise ring and go for top rope stuff, you might brush your foot along the drapes, and then there's not going to kick a frigging TV.
They wouldn't have just brushed their foot; they would have gone through the drapes.
Yeah, and that's, to be fair, I've seen it in that venue now. But yeah, like there's that, which is the danger that we have at Basildon Square Garden, and then there's the danger that they have at that nightclub with that high-rise ring, which is, I'm going to kick a fucking TV.
Yeah. This could turn into a no DQ match very quickly.
A bit different from brushing the drapes.
Yeah. But like, honestly, the setup is so cool. Like,
It looked it.
It's so fucking. Their whole show's up on their YouTube channel, so you should check it out. Someone else who was over there, Kurt, I'm sure you know who he is. Laferde, you might do. I know you're not like massive on British wrestling or know much about British wrestling, but Johnny Storm.
Yeah, watch Fantastic Four of the Week. Not as good as Chris Evans, but better than the 2015 one.
Let me show you something. And now I'm going to have to send him this clip. Johnny Storm, the Wonder Kid. He had to put it like it's all in the book, The Unofficial Legend, which is available if you go to Johnny's socials. He went British wrestling. I don't know if you know the ins and outs of British wrestling. So when our mums and dads, nans and granddads were like 70s, 80s and that, British wrestling was huge. There was Mick McManus, Pat Roach. Did you ever see Alfina's Aim Pet?
Yep.
Yeah, surprised you haven't, Laferde, because it's a very northern show. Alfredo's Aim Pet, a load of builders, Timothy Spall, that kind of thing. He was in that. He was in all the Indiana Jones films. Big Daddy, Giant Haystacks, you know these names.
Yeah,
I've heard of them, yeah.
Or the World of Sport era.
The World of Sport wrestling, that was massive. And then sort of mid to late 80s, they just one day went, take it off telly. It was on like Saturday telly. It was World of Sport. It used to be very British. Greetings, Grapple fans. Welcome to this afternoon's bouts, and very well spoken proper British wrestling, where it was, instead of just a 15-minute match, it was like the matches were in rounds. That was British wrestling, was 5-minute rounds generally. And then it got taken off of TV, and then wrestling in the UK kind of just disappeared because that's all people knew. People didn't know that there was these little, guys with vans that were touring the country doing shows, holiday camps and stuff like that. So in the 90s, there wasn't a British wrestling. It was all WWF. That's all people knew. So that's why you always saw live American wrestling when you saw the posters for the shows, because that's how they sold it, because that's all that people knew.
There are still promotions now that in the UK that will advertise themselves as live American wrestling. Like, I have seen it.
Yeah.
whilst admittedly doing a tiny bit of talent scouting. But yeah, it still happens to this day. Like that's how much the hangover from the
90s.
lack of British wrestling on TV is.
That's what I mean. So in the 90s, there was nothing like you. There wasn't shows. I mean, I remember my first ever show was Dagenham Town Show, which was like a small little festival over at Park in Dagenham, and there was live American wrestling there, and I went over there, and it was so this was 2000 or 2001 because it was when I first got into wrestling. Ash had now convinced me that to be into it. I'm now a fan of The Rock, so I'll go over to see it, and I remember asking them about training schools, and they gave me a number and put it on a paper. I think I lost a bit of paper, so this was even well before I found drop kicks, but I saw American style wrestling, and they had these bouts, and it was like, oh my god, they do this, like this literally happens here. But then when I found drop kicks, we then discovered that there was a company called FWA that was about to, like, they were the first company to start putting wrestling back on the map in the UK. They were doing big shows for the first time. They were all very small hall shows for years, but these were putting on bigger shows at bigger venues, theatres and stuff like that. And Johnny Storm, this is going all to my point, was one of them. Johnny Storm, Jody Fleisch, and a guy called Doug Williams were the names. And then FWA. And the FWA were bringing over American imports. They were the only name bringing over. They were bringing in people like Colt Cabana, guy by the name of Phil Brooks, who goes under the... Do you know who that is, Laferde?
Yeah, I'm not a cabbage.
Who is it then?
Punk.
See? Just testing your knowledge, mate. They were having CM Punk like well before, like he was
Before CM Punk
even
was CM
considered
Punk.
for WWE. Yeah, so like they were the first company to start making it known. Then you had other companies come out of the darkness. You had 1PW, IPW, but Johnny Storm and Jody Fleisch and Doug Williams, they were the big part. Jody and Johnny were either a tag team or rivals, but they were putting high flying on the map in the UK. They were what people were looking for. So he was all this to get to the point that Johnny was there Sunday. Obviously, I knew we'd met on different shows throughout the years. I literally went over to him because he was doing his merchandise at the show, which he's the one who pretty much Jacob and his friend got all their stuff from, because he had wrestling masks and John Cena wristbands, AJ Styles gloves. He had all the stuff, but he was there. Now, sorry kids for listening to this, he was there with a wrestling mask on, so people didn't realise it was him. Someone had sort of said to me, it's Johnny Storm. So I sort of went, Johnny? And he went, yeah, hello. And I sort of explained, like, you won't remember me, but so-and-so, we would have met at these shows back in the day, and I was around the dropkick, give that. We ended up having a conversation, and obviously I ended up buying his book because I've seen it all over social media, the amount of people that are reading it and buying it, so I wanted to get a copy, and who better to get it off of him, and signed to the relic. Good to see you, Johnny Storm. Signed it, and then obviously we had a conversation. He took pictures with the kids and stuff like that, and I explained what we were doing, explained ours, and he was like, okay, give me the kind of the little wink of give me a shout, which is, in wrestling terms, is I'm interested in what you've got going there, so let's have a chat. Listen, it's not going to be back in time, but I'm just saying 10 minutes before we were recording, I was having a back and forth with Johnny Storm, so that may be a thing. Johnny's the Wonder Kid. I'm not going to lie, it's a name I'll be very, very happy to have.
Oh yes,
on one of our shows, or going down the line, maybe more. So 2026. Yeah. Make sure you're there for this one in 2025, because you want to see what's about to happen in 2026.
Oh yeah. Let's put it this way: there are some names now associated with Back in Time that we have not yet announced yet, that if Johnny does end up linking up with us, I would love to see those names against Johnny in our ring.
It's exciting because it's exciting for every member of that crowd to see that, but also exciting when we're the bookers, so we can we're like, okay, we can put this story to work. That is the fun. Hang on. Like I say, without mentioning the other people's names that we haven't put on the show yet, but like Johnny Storm with that person, we could do this, we could do that. It's like going back to what Tony said, having your own wrestling company is like having your own box of toys. And when you've got a toy that you know of, like Johnny Storm, We've got our own action figure.
And if you don't understand why we are this excited, just fall down a rabbit hole on YouTube watching Johnny Storm's reel. Follow the man on any of the socials, and you will see why that book is worth reading and why we are excited at even the prospect of him one day doing something with us.
Even if he doesn't, the fact that he's interested, that's
more than you expected.
It's a pat on the back for us, in the sense of like, you know, I explained the product to him and what we're doing with the creators, with Jay, with Stally, with Parky, and this and and it was kind of like, okay, hopefully it was kind of like they are actually, because I like to think we're trying something slightly different, the way we're doing things, and it's like a name like that wants to come have a look and potentially be involved, and hopefully come away going, I like what they're doing. Let's do more, because that'll only be a compliment to us.
Yeah, obviously we've had our US imports as well. We gave AJ Slambino his first outing in the UK. We're doing the same for D'Angelo at this show. And speaking of which, by the way, talking about reasons to get excited and reasons why we're excited ourselves, by the time this video goes out, if you head over to the TDW YouTube channel, as well as all the socials as well, we have got a little sizzle reel for D'Angelo's highlights, which you can see the man in action over in the States, and again realise exactly why we are excited for this guy to make his debut in the UK.
We just still need to find an opponent for him.
Anyone who's watching or listening to this, by the way, whether you're on our roster or not, hit us up on
We've
the socials.
had some messages, but I don't want to put any talent out, but there's a spark I'm looking for. There's a sizzle I need for this match. It's our main event, and this isn't saying that you guys aren't worthy of that, but some of you maybe not yet. We've got an amazing talent roster, and our best to go into work already on the show, and I don't want to. I want this to be something.
I don't want to make anyone pull double duty again. RJ, you can rest easy, mate. So I don't want to pull double duty. In fact, one thing that you'll realise when we check in with our catch up with RJ in a minute is RJ is now already doing twice the amount of work that he thought he was going to be doing on this show without pulling double duty explicitly. More on that in a minute, but yeah, we don't even want to pull double duty. And again, if we're going to bring this guy over all the way from the States to introduce him to the UK crowd, it's not just introducing him to the UK crowd, it's introducing him to what UK wrestling can be like as well. Yeah. And again, it ain't the old World of Sport days anymore. I want to put that man in the ring with the best that we can get.
So that means it's not you, Ryan.
The best that we can get.
I'm hoping, speaking of me wrestling, and it ties back to something I was thinking about earlier when I was reading through Johnny's book. It reminded me of some old stuff. So I completely lost my train of thought because I'm thinking about the story I wanted to tell before I wanted to tell the other bit. But me wrestling, ain't happening. I'm not gonna be wanting to get involved, but I have been thinking about the old days in a sense, because I was reading through Johnny's book and it was talking about the beginnings of what it was like. Again, what I was going through, like in the 90s, when there was no market to sell to. There was internet fans, but there wasn't really. There was chat room internet fans. Then they were the ones. There was shows that were built just for them, and that's where they leaned into that, and that's where it started becoming a community in the UK where wrestling. But I remember, like, going over. Obviously, I'm sure I've told you this before. I used to tour a lot around the South Coast with Dominita's dad's company, John Coppin, EWF, and our little convoy of wrestlers included me, Tony Sefton, Paul Robinson, Paul Robinson, former tag team partner of Will Ospreay,
and also hardcore wrestling lunatic as well. Like, I've seen some of his recent stuff. Like that man has no breaks apart from the things that he breaks over people.
Well, listen, so let me tell you the names, and we'll come back to Paul, because it's actually a story with him I'm referring to. So this convoy had people, like, British wrestling wise, our Dropkick slot mainly was me, Paul, Tony Sefton, Ashley Reed, Shah Samuels, Terry Fraser, Martin Stone, let me think. Was there any? And there was one of the girls, Georgie, who's done a lot of the driving, and we were on this tour once, and me and Paul, unofficially, like, because we were always together, Ashley and Tony were generally doing matches either together or as a tag team. Me and Paul was kind of the same at the beginning. So this one of them cool little moments I can say is that me and Paul had this great friendship. Like, we came up together. I always knew, like, that kid's going to go far because you could see it in him. Like, his spinning heel kick that he's always used as one of his finishers, I was the first person he tried it on. I remember the conversation, him coming up going, so I've used to do martial arts and I used to do this spinning kick. I might use it as a finisher or at least a signature kind of move. Can I try it on you? No thanks. No thanks. But he did, and I took it to the back. But so we were on this tour and we were going along the south coast in places like Weymouth and Dorchester. And one night after one of the shows, everybody had, Georgie, the girl, she'd booked a hotel room, and we're all out. Our plan is because we're like 16-year-old kids, we can't afford a hotel. All the other lads decided we're going to try and sneak in and crash in her room. They all disappeared, leaving me and little Paul Robinson in a car. Bear in mind, like I said, we're touring, and at this point, this is that little cool moment, is that Will Ospreay's best friend and former tag team partner, I was his first ever tag team partner because we've been tagging that day. So we were stuck together, me and him, and we were left in a car in the middle of November, freezing cold, no quilts. This is early 2000s, so there's probably no aircon, like nothing that we could use. We just stuck in this car. Me and Paul Robinson, this guy had to walk 2.5 miles to a Tesco's to get a hot chocolate in the middle of the night and buy a lighter and some stuff to make a fire. We sat in the corner of a car park and made a fire because it was that cold.
If I know Paul, he made a flaming table and put you through it.
This was before Psycho Paul. This was babyface blue-eye Paul. This was like, I watched that kid's career go from this. He's always been so energetic, and he used to channel it in a yeah, come on kind of way. And then he got annoyed with that, and he flipped it, and he became crazy. So, I mean, hey, that's the kind of spark I'd be looking for a D'Angelo kind of match. But I don't know if it'd be a good idea to put D'Angelo through that. But one of them.
You put him through a lot of things.
Like I said, reading Johnny's book it's made me go down memory lane a lot of just, remembering that time of all that kind of stuff. I think, because looking at the time, we're going to end up having a really long episode if we don't. Do you think we should go over to the stuff we've recorded earlier?
Yeah, and it's going to look really weird, by the way, because this was recorded a couple of days ago as we record this. Me and Ryan are wearing the exact same clothes. I do promise you we do own other things.
Were you wearing that same T-shirt?
I was wearing the same hat at the very least, and another black T-shirt that looks very similar.
Oh, I'm definitely wearing the same hoodie and hat. Yeah, absolutely.
So I do promise you I have washed since then. Can't talk for Ryan, but...
This is me and Kurt talking to RJ Singh and Mr. Dexter about what was meant to be a tag team match, and you're going to find out now.
Right, guys, so we have got some TDW news, specifically some back in time related news. Hello, by the way, my name is Kurt, and if you are exclusively someone who follows TDW and doesn't normally follow us on the podcast, I'm part of the Talks with Dorks podcast crew, but more specifically part of the board of directors at TDW. I am joined by another member of the board, and I guess we can call him the chairman, although I really don't want the ego to go to his head too much here, but Ryan is with me at the moment.
No, because the issue you have with that, when you call me the chairman, everyone in the wrestling sense will think of one man, and at the moment...
Tony Khan, got it.
I hope so. At the moment, that is the greater option of the two. So yeah, okay, but yeah, updates, because we've been kind of masking. Obviously, we've been promoting the matches we've put together, apart from one that was set up at the very beginning of the plans for Back in Time. Okay.
So, if you watched our first show, Never Say Die, there were a couple of highlights. I mean, arguably the whole show was a highlight, but...
Absolutely.
But we kicked off Never Say Die with a great tag match featuring the Strong Dads and the Kings of the Ring. Really set the tone for everything. And then one of those strong dads even had a second match throughout the show, which is fun enough where you come in, Rye, answering
yeah, RJ.
a certain open challenge. And, well, we also had another tag team that really dominated the show as well. They came up to interrupt the GMs midway through the show, took a little bit of umbrage to certain things, and they then wrestled in the main event against the debuting Pond Bros, AJ Slambino, first time in the UK, Goonie Dad, now known as Old School Paul over in NFW, doing his live crowd debut. Didn't so much go their way, and they weren't too keen about it, so some conversations were had. And we basically ended up with two of our best tag teams in the ring together in the form of the Strong Dads and the Showtime Darlings. Now, we have got some updates in relation to that. In fact, we're joined by a couple of those names today. Firstly, Ryan's opponent from Never Say Die.
Do you have to bring it up? Is it because you want to try and spark some kind of heat? Because I knew you were going to do that again. You've already mentioned it. You've mentioned it again. We're cool. We've said we're fine. Okay. We had a good contest. Please bring the man in. And there's no heat. No heat from me.
Oh, no heat at all. I mean, let's be honest. It was a great match. You know, everyone's said as much there, and we knew we were cool anyway, because for anyone who watches the or listens to the Talks with Dorks podcast, we were cool from the moment we found out this guy was a Doctor Who nerd as well. But
he's literally become an honorary member, and this is my careful. We don't want to show favouritism in any sense. So let's just say the man's name, bring him in.
It's
RJ Singh.
Yes.
Got there first. RJ, welcome back. Again.
Good to be back. Good to be back here. It feels like home now. Feels like home. We've done so many episodes now together. Doctor Who, Hulk Hogan, and of course, you know, I'm here, Mr. Double Duty, on the first show. And kind of waiting to find out what happens next, because we've had a few hiccups, a few bumps in the road, which I'm sure you guys want to talk about. So we're kind of here to find out what we're going to do for our next show.
Well, let's put it this way. There's a reason why RJ's joining us on his own at the moment. Well, he's technically not on his own, because we do have someone else who's joining us. I'll introduce him in just a second. He's probably already livid that I've not made him top billing.
I can literally see him on my camera, and the showman he is, and it's only the second time on the podcast. I know he's a showman. He's dying to get involved in the show, because that's what he does. But again, you were saying, Kurt.
Well, there's a reason RJ's on his own today, so we might as well mention that very briefly now, and that is Sunset Skip, the other half of the Strong Dads. Now, he is still hoping to be present at Back in Time. However, it is very unlikely he's going to be able to step into the ring, because...
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and if he does step into the ring, it's going to be with one foot, because... Sunset Skip has just had to undergo surgery. If you follow Sunset Skip, you will have noticed as well, after a heinous attack on the ankle, where he's had his ankle sandwiched between a chair, and had to have surgery after the fact. He's on recovery, but it's very unlikely he's going to be medically cleared in time for the show. So that leaves us with something to think about when it comes to that tag team match. And speaking of that, might as well bring in one of the other moving parts from that tag team match, and that being Showtime, Mr. Dexter. Finally.
Hi, guys.
Welcome back.
Finally, you brought me on the show. Finally. Oh, boy, oh, boy.
We know last time when we got your message that you were a little bit upset with things that happened higher up. We'll talk about that. I'm looking forward to talking about that.
My agent was ringing your landlords and lawyers all through and through, weren't they?
Yeah,
making sure that we got justice for the
we got all those phone calls. Could he have done it without doing reverse charges? Would have been great, but...
Do they still do? Is there still a thing called reverse charges? I mean... But...
I don't have a landline, I don't know.
Mr. Dexter, again, there's been some underlying issues that we've had. We are going to talk about this. We're going to air this out. Obviously, officially, I mean, we met at the show, but this is the first time we've got to sit down properly. So we'll listen to anything. That's what we do. We want to be a successful company, so we would like to listen to all of our talents' issues. We'll get there. But obviously, again, you are alone, and you are the man to probably explain where the other half of your show has gone.
Well, indeed, here's the news. My fellow partner David, my darling, is taking the center stage somewhere else. So he is smashing it and slamming it on a center stage of his own. But don't worry, darlings. You still got me, your favorite showman, Mr. Dexter.
And how lucky we are.
Yes.
This is going to be fun. Okay, it's great to have you here. Do you know what? Let's cut to that part. Obviously, we know that we have an issue that we don't have. Skip. Skip is out. Skip is injured. He's going to be out for a while. Like I said, he still wants to be at the show, but he cannot be involved in that sense. David is unable to make it. The Showtime Darlings have kind of, in a sense, the show has gone its separate way. Both are now looking to go solo as a solo act, which, you know, many acts have gone that way and been very successful. So let's see what happens here.
Yeah, I think they call it in showbiz a conscious uncoupling. But
Very good. I like that.
but yeah, I mean, this leaves us in. RJ said it himself, a hiccup earlier on, but weirdly, in some ways, from a management perspective, I don't know about you, Ryan. I've got thoughts, but I've got one thought that's definitely prevailing here.
Okay.
And well,
No. Okay. I know there is a fault there, but I want to
I
get.
didn't want to say.
I kind of want to speak to Mr. Dexter about the issues because there were thoughts. Mr. Dexter, the last show, there was a problem with our general managers. Okay, that's why me and Kurt wanted to be the ones that come and spoke to you because we've got general managers. I think as well as us, we were caught up, and you'll appreciate this, in the show, and didn't see their involvement, the stunners, then the pin, as being anything more than an
Scandal!
entertaining show. And then when we heard your grievances, I kind of went through the thought process of should look at this as a board of directors and a sense of yes, that could be conceived as our general managers maybe getting a little bit too involved.
Too
So,
involved?
but
Oh, they were definitely involved. I mean, they literally changed the course of the match. If you watch that footage carefully, get your VAR out or anything you want to get out of that. Just watch it. You can see me and David were almost close to winning. We were fingertips away. If it wasn't for those scoundrels.
And again, he's got a point. I do have to say, like, stepping away from the spectacle of the show from a management perspective, he does have a point.
Mm.
And again, I can understand from the management perspective of the GMs. Again, arguably overstepped the mark. I don't think there's even any arguably about it. Like I said, they did influence the decision of the match.
Yes.
I can understand why. And Dexter, you might not like me saying it. You and David put your hands on them before the match even started. There's a reason they introduced themselves as enforcer and referee in the first place. Don't think we didn't see the feigned injury as well. That there was more than a tiny bit of chicanery on yours and David's part as well. But it doesn't change the fact.
That was superb acting, that was.
Doesn't change the fact that yes, although understandable why they felt the need to dish out a bit of repercussion, they did it in a way that ultimately led to the end of the match. So, in spite of everything I said, again, standing back objectively, you do have a point, you do have a genuine grievance, and we'd be remiss in our duties if we didn't acknowledge that.
So what is it then? What is it? Give me what I deserve. Give me what I want. Give me what I deserve then. Come on, let's see it. Let's hear it out then.
okay, but I think what you want. Listen. You're a showman. You understand the show, right? The show when you first get in the show, you have to learn your craft. You have to own your craft. Then you put your craft to work, and then you need to get to a level. Yeah. Do you remember like what I'm going to point out here is I think what we're all thinking that this was a tag match. There are two left that are able to compete on October 26th, and we're going to ask the other man in a second. And I know I can see him. He's dying to have an opinion on this. You want this to be a singles, don't you?
Me wants a singles match? Ooh, there's so much to choose. I mean, RJ Singh, I know he is dying to get back into that ring. I know that for sure, regardless if his partner can make it. And you guys do want to give me that match, and you know you should, otherwise, I'll call my agents and lawyers and I'll sue the show out of it. I will. So give me what I want. No, 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 no. What I want, what I deserve. And that is a match against RJ Singh. And you know what, RJ? I know I see something shiny from the last show. Oh yes, indeed. I remember you were a champion. And didn't you defend your belt against a wannabe performer? The host, Ryan? Just because you're best buddies and you think you deserve a shot? Well, what an easy road out for you, wasn't it, RJ? You know, an easy match for you. No wonder you wanted double duty. You just wanted double the pay. You did. Now, how about you face a main eventer? How about you face a guy who is champions worthy? So how about you put your title on the line against the shows of shows, Mr. Dexter? How about it, buddy? Does that sound like a deal with the devil you want?
RJ?
Okay, so I'm guessing we're talking about the Pro Wrestling East Men's Championship, and
Oh,
if we're going to talk about the Pro Wrestling East Men's Championship, then you see, I've always got my buddy right here close to my heart. You see now, I was Mr. Double Duty. Okay, I went out, I had a tag match. Me and Sunset Skip, the Strong Dads, we beat the Kings of the Ring. And then I wasn't done for the evening because me and my old friend Ryan, we went 1-on-1. And that was no picnic. Okay. But I am 2 for 2. Okay. And one thing I promised myself, one thing I promised Pro Wrestling East, that whenever the opportunity came up for me to defend this championship, then I would be a fighting champion because no one calls me out, considers me a kind of a coward, because if you want a match against RJ Singh, you just show me where I have to sign.
oh,
Okay. Okay. So it now seems to cover because there is an underlying point I'm going to bring up in a second about the wannabe performer. See, I'm biased. I've been listening to your problems, but just remember, not a wannabe. I was a retired. An opportunity came in front of me that if you was there and you were listening, I didn't want, but I took because underline it, I'd never face that man because we've been friends. And being friends with him, I've seen what he's done and who he's faced and who he has beat and who has helped him get to where he is and why he's so known. So I could retaliate. I'm going to stay unbiased. I can retaliate, but I think your point about me and I'm just retired. That was it. I came out for one. I helped my company, my show, have another match, I suppose, and got the honour to wrestle RJ. Kurt, can I say it? You've got the honour to face RJ. I'll make sure I'm going to have to send a message over to the PWE guys, but Ross is a very respected champion. I'm pretty sure if he says it's okay, they'll be okay with it. Okay, Kurt, it's happening. Right. I'm sorry for taking over that. Sitting here
Oh,
in my brand
I
new Talks with Dorks hoodie that hopefully will be available for merchandise very soon. Do you like that, Mr. Dexter? I'm a showman too. Kurt, talk to me.
I,
Am I
I
wrong for
mean, look,
agreeing to that?
I don't think you're wrong at all, mate. I mean, like I say, even before we got these two guys on this call today, the fact that Skip was going to need to have his surgery did throw a spanner in the works. The very aptly timed, to the extent I am at least 50% certain that this is all some kind of elaborate ruse of the Darlings going their separate ways, actually solved the problem for us in some way. Because, yes, the immediate obvious management decision is, hey, we've got these two guys who are going to be in a tag match. Let's just make it a singles now. Now, if you're asking if I've got an issue with upping the prestige of this match even more by putting the title into the picture, I have absolutely no problem with that fact. Right, you've been very diplomatic on this front. You know, there's
I'm
a reason
trying.
you're the there's a
I'm
reason you're the
trying.
boss man.
My
With
my
the
buttons
with,
do get pushed, and I'm dealing with some anger issues. I'm
yeah,
just learning how to keep
yeah,
them calm.
you've shown a lot of restraint. Yeah, there's a reason you're the boss man.
But I don't need because I don't
Um,
need to. I don't need to take any comments and move forward because
yeah, I'm
I mean on my screen I'm looking at the guy. You know what I mean? He's
yeah, I mean
that
I'm
the champion.
I'm potentially not going to show as much restraint in relation to this because I am going to take a little bit of umbrage to the wannabe comment because you know RJ, firstly, like you said, not a wannabe, retired, coming out of retirement. And RJ, if we want to talk about wannabes here, if we really want to go down the wannabe route, even if I concede that Ryan is a wannabe in the biggest quotation marks possible, RJ came out victorious in his match, whereas, well, we want to talk about potential wannabe wrestlers. You got stunned by a streamer.
You got 10 seconds to apologize before the camera is off.
I'll apologise for him because I've got a better idea. I've got another idea. This is a title match. We'll ensure that we have a referee, you know, not someone a special referee. I'll also ensure because again, we didn't bring the GMs here to get involved with this because you had the issue. So what we'll do is I'll make sure that they are far away from this match. They will not.
Lovely.
They're no way from this match.
I'm inclined to
That
agree.
is a promise. So there's your apology.
Thank you.
You've got the match. RJ, everything okay with this on your front so far?
This sounds great to me. You know, since PWE has been on a bit of a hiatus this year, I'm just looking for opportunities to defend this championship. So you know, and where better place than back with you guys again? You know, like you said, we'll talk to Pro Wrestling East tomorrow. We'll see what they say. I'm sure they won't have a problem with this. I don't have a problem with this. If I've got to defend it against someone the likes of Mr. Dexter here, then so be it. You know, one show down and I'm already 2 for 2. So, you know, in 2 shows, it'll be a third victory. RJ still walks away with the gold.
And what an opportunity to face me, RJ.
Mr. Dexter, just remind me, how long have you been a showman in the wrestling world? How long have you been in the wrestling world?
Oh, just for like my lifetime, I've been doing this, Feels like a lifetime. You can't count the years, the days, the times. You know what? I think you should really ask me how I'm feeling right at this moment, Ryan. I think you should tell me how I feel.
Okay, you've got it. You've got your PWE Championship match. It's going to happen at Back in Time,
Yes.
October 26th, Basildon Sport and Leisure Club, or as we like to call it, Basildon Square Garden. You're like that. That's a showmanship name. It's happening. Mr. Dexter, you're in a title match with a British legend, RJ Singh. I've been there. I mean, I know how that feels. So how do you feel?
For once in my life, I have someone who needs me. Someone I needed so long, for once unafraid. I know where life leads me, know I'll belong. For once I can touch what my heart used to dream of, long before I knew someone warm like you, RJ, to make my dreams come true. Does that answer your question, Ryan? Does that answer your question?
Um,
It raises so many others.
yeah, I think yeah, I agree. Answers one. There's a lot there.
Awkward.
RJ, I probably dread to ask this. How are you feeling? Oh my God, how are you feeling?
I I didn't prepare a song, and thank you, Mr. Dexter, for that. But yeah, you've got your title match, man. You want your title match. Consider it done.
Thank you, and don't worry about Singh. I know where your talent lies anyway. You just got that one talent, I think.
One talent.
Which is more I can say
One.
about Ryan and Kurt for that example, really. I mean, talent. You can't even speak on a podcast sometimes, you know.
Okay,
I
okay.
mean,
Mr. Dexter, I think you're gonna have to watch it. You're kind of heading towards biting the hand that feeds. So just maybe.
really, I was speaking about feet. I mean, Sunset can't even stand on 1 foot alone now, can't he?
Yeah, okay, that's not actually funny. Like he's actually had to have. I was around. I went and saw him today. He's completely laid out on the sofa. He can't even walk for like 2 weeks. You know,
Oh,
so
RJ,
I can
RJ,
appreciate what you're trying here, but you know, it it's not
RJ,
work.
RJ, you should listen before you can speak. You know, your kids don't want you to see you get injured the next show. Don't want you to see you return, and that be your only return ever now, RJ. Is that right? What
Yeah,
are your poor kids will
maybe
say?
I'll just give you a little bit of advice, Mr. Dexter. Like maybe
Go
you
on.
don't mention my kids. Maybe you keep my kids like names out of your mouth. That would really benefit you going into this match.
How about joke, RJ? How
No,
about
no,
joke?
I don't
No,
think
no,
you want
you
to hear
want to
this
hear
joke.
this joke. You
No,
want to
no,
hear
I think
this
we've had
joke,
enough.
RJ.
I think
Go on, you want
please
to hear
plant your
this joke.
seed.
What do you get when an experienced young
I
man
don't care.
faces a very unpredictable psychotic gentleman on the next show, Talk with Dogs? You get what you deserve, RJ!
Is he? I think he's okay.
That was weird. That was intense.
That was
I'm not gonna lie.
there's
That's
you RJ, you know me. There's a very few times I can't speak on especially in a podcast on my podcast. That was different.
that was. He's made this super awkward. I mean, look. Let's still go ahead with the match. I'm still going to do a match, but you guys got to start vetting some of your talent because this, you know, I'm not sure Mr. Dexter's all there.
Do me a favour. Listen. Again, I'm staying unbiased. Go do what RJ does at this match. That's all I'm asking.
And do you know what? I'm quite happy. I'm quite happy to let the veteran do some vetting at this point. You know, so far in a TDW ring, Mr. Dexter has wrestled a man who's in the UK for the first time and a man who's making his live audience debut. And, you know, credit to the Pond Bros, tore the house down. I am admittedly, despite everything that's been said, curious to see what happens when Mr. Dexter gets in the ring with the man who's done quite a lot that can be done in this industry. Let's put it that way.
I mean, Mr. Dexter likes his show. Hopefully, one of the shows he's watched before is British Boot Camp, TNA British Boot Camp. You know, TNA company that's done well for themselves. Yeah, I did a name drop for you, RJ. Did you like that?
I loved it. I loved it.
But yeah, I'm
I just
genuinely
guarantee
that
you
went
this.
so
You know,
weird.
Mr. Dexter likes to refer himself as Mr. D, but by the end of that match, he's going to be Mr. DDT.
someone that knows what that feels like. Oh, I can't believe this match. I can't. I generally can't. And you know, I'm stick to my point. I'm a man of my word. GMs will not be involved, but I feel like, and I'll keep. We maybe not me, but us. We need to keep an eye on because, as we mentioned, there were some tricks before the feigning of an injury and stuff like that. So here's a showman. We'll just make sure this is straight down the middle.
Yeah.
The referee gets involved, then yeah, I don't know what else to say, but we'll have a referee, no special ref. It's just straightforward. This is a title match.
Yeah.
This is about you two.
Standard ref, no involvement from the GMs, no outside interference. I will allow Skip to be in your corner because man should have been in the match in the first place anyway. I want him to be involved in the show in some capacity, but we're going to be dead.
Sure, there is no showmanship about the fact that man could not get in a ring and do any damage to anyone right now. He's in a lot of pain.
But we're going to be hot on this. You know, like I say, despite everything from the last few minutes, Mr. Dexter does still have a point. The man does deserve to have a fair opportunity. So yeah, we're going to call this down the middle. No outside interference, no involvement from anyone who should not be in there. And this is coming from two members of the board. If there is any outside interference, and even if we miss it on the day, we'll be watching the tapes, there will be repercussions. This is going to go one-on-one, PWE men's title, RJ Singh versus Showtime Mr. Dexter at Back in Time, 26th of October.
Get your tickets now, right now, because, do you know what? It's probably a good time to mention that we just dropped the price a little bit because we realised that when you go into the shop and it's costing you £20, literally like I did just before I started recording, went to the shop and it cost me £20 for some chocolate bread, a couple of pot noodles, some bits for the kids' lunch that was not 5 years ago, £20 worth of food. We helped out and we've dropped the prices. So go check out the link. It will be down below. It will be everywhere, wherever you're seeing this clip. Prices for Back in Time have now dropped, and there are still the t-shirt combos. And you never know. I mean, we've got merchandise. Hopefully you'll be able to save some money for the merchandise on the day. And yeah, let's wrap things up, okay? Because this will be, this will be added into whatever episode we record next. We don't need to do all the promo stuff like that. We'll leave it like that. RJ, thank you for being there.
Pleasure.
Mr. Dexter, if you're watching this back, thank you for being here and making it an experience I've never been through in my life. And I've been through some. See you later.
What's going forward?
Right.
That was interesting. That was an experience, to say the least. Laferde, obviously, you weren't there, but you've just, you've been caught up to speed on what's going on with. Now, we have a PWE, it's officially happening, a PWE title match, so the same belt that I went for, Mr. Dexter versus RJ Singh. Yeah? Any thoughts from you?
Yeah, he went a bit weird then, didn't he? Like what?
Right?
Yeah.
In what sense? The song?
Well, just the whole, the general thing. It was just a bit.
I mean, I dress up as the Joker.
Yeah.
He's tapping into that kind of side of his psyche a little bit too much, which concerns me. And this is why, if you heard me say at the end, that we've had to promise that the GMs will not be anywhere near this match because we got to, it obviously came over the GM's head because he's not happy with how they treated it. And we admitted, as you heard, that it, maybe we got caught up in the show as well because seeing the GMs, it was all fun, everyone cheered and stuff like that, but maybe seeing it as a business side of things, talent might not be happy with that. So the GMs will stay away, but I've also said we'll keep an eye on this match because...
Yeah.
Wow, you're making eye jokes. That's a bit tight.
Me and Kurt will keep an eye on this joke.
I'll listen out.
Yeah. And we have been.
Yeah.
No,
So-
but again, we'll be keeping a close eye on it. There's going to be no outside interference. Yeah, even if something happens on the day that we miss, obviously we're going to be watching the recordings. We're going to be editing it together before it goes up. If we spot anything that's untoward, either on the day or after the fact, there's going to be repercussions. This one's going down the middle.
Yeah, well, this again, last time again, I get the GM part of it, but Mr. Dexter and the team, they were a little bit the feigned injury, the fake injury that he put on to try and thinking we're gonna have to stop the match, all of that. So we'll get back to that. Last thing before we wrap up, have you guys seen that there's a Superman sequel been announced already?
I may have noticed.
As a Superman fan, do you know how exciting that is?
But to be fair, like I said, I've said this before. I'm a recent convert to being a Superman fan. Like I've always been a superhero fan, and Superman's a character that I'm very much aware of. But I never would have considered myself to be a Superman fan. And this film has converted me. Like I've bought merch. I've had the "I'm a Punk Rocker" song in my head.
Oh, it's been 5 years
on
time
loop.
for me.
Yeah,
Stuck in my head.
And I genuinely was looking up yesterday when the Blu-ray released. I've not bought a Blu-ray in years, but I will buy a physical copy of that film.
I haven't bought the downloadable version because I know the Blu-ray's not coming out till October.
October the 27th, the day after Back in Time. We're treating
better
ourselves.
make some money. So buy your tickets. We need to buy some money because I need to buy that. I'm going to pre-order. I'm getting the. I'm getting. Obviously, you can't see it here, but I've got. I think when it comes to DC, I'm missing some Marvels. I've got most of like the Infinity side.
Yeah.
Blu-rays, but DC, I've got pretty much everything. I've got all of the Zack Snyder things, including both Justice Leagues. One I will never watch again. I've got all of the old Superman films. I've got a box set. I've got all the Batmans. I've got all the Dark Knight. DC, I've got basically almost 2 shelves of DC. That is going proudly in that collection. I cannot wait for that film to come out. But as someone that has always been a Superman fan, do you know how many times I have been promised a Superman sequel, an actual Superman sequel, and never got one? If you think about it, there hasn't been a Superman 2 since Superman 2, which was 1980 or 81.
Yeah.
Maybe even 82. So over 40 years.
In the time in between, we've had 3 Spider-Man 2s.
Yeah.
Literally. Yeah, exactly. So, like... I couldn't explain when I heard this and how quick it is. Oh yes, there's a little bit of a worry because sometimes you worry you don't want sequels to be rushed.
Yeah.
But I do have my faith in James Gunn that it's going to be good because again we didn't have no Superman movies in the 90s. We just had the TV show, New Adventures of Superman, Lois and Clark, all that. Then we had Superman Returns, which was a sequel to Superman 2, 3. I think it meant to have cancelled out 3 and 4.
Yeah, I think they definitely retconned 4. I know that much with Superman Returns.
Yeah, most people try and retcon 4. I actually like it. It's now I watch it. It's like when they talk about the special effects. It's terrible. The same clip of him flying is used about 35 times. It's just
which, to be fair, I've fallen down a Superman rabbit hole recently. I haven't gone back and watched all of the Superman films, the original ones, just yet, but I watched an unpacking of how they did the effects for the first Superman, like how they did the flying effects in the 1970s, especially. Like it was easier said than done to green screen stuff. It was easier said than done to put it off, and like they revolutionised a lot of effects with that first film.
They made people believe a man could fly.
Yeah, that was the tagline. But they revolutionised so many effects that one. So it's actually quite depressing that the effects fell off so hard by number 4.
It is bad, but it was again. It's one of them things. I always had the sequels of films. I had 3 and 4 on video, or I think I had 3 and my mate had 4, so we used to always watch them together. But Superman Returns was then promised, ironically, a Man of Steel was going to be the sequel, but because Superman Returns didn't perform well, I mean, it was reasonable because people were like, it didn't have action, it didn't have a fight scene.
No, that's the thing. That's what was lacking.
So they didn't go with it. Then we got Man of Steel. Man of Steel originally was meant to have a Man of Steel 2, but the studio went, we need a
Batman.
bigger.
We need Justice League, and we need it now.
So they went with Batman v Superman, so it wasn't a Superman sequel. And then it never happened. Now we're getting a Man of Steel 2, a Man of Tomorrow. Not a Man of Steel 2, a Superman 2, a Man of Tomorrow, which James kind of said in this film, it looks like Lex Luthor and Superman are begrudgingly going to have to work together against the bigger evil. I'm calling it now, it's Brainiac.
Yeah. James Gunn would absolutely bring Brainiac in.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think it's happening. I think this DC universe that I want to see is really, really happening.
I mean, I get annoyed about Batman Superman for a lot of reasons. A lot of reasons I get annoyed about Batman Superman for. Because, firstly, you know, yes, there was never a Man of Steel 2. Secondly, you introduced Ben Affleck's Batman in that film before you have a chance to even do him on his own. And I maintain Ben Affleck is an amazing Batman, just in less than amazing films. And reason number 2, I hate it. Reason number 3, you half-assed adapted one of the best Batman and Superman stories ever. It's more of a Batman story, but obviously features Superman with Dark Knight Returns. How dare you tease me with that and then not do it properly?
I'm just going to point this out because I have to, because you know what it's like. To any Snyder fans, I would just like to point out that Kurt's opinions are of it. I love the Snyderverse, a lot of it. I don't like the Justice League one, but I love Zack Snyder. Kurt slagging off anything Zack Snyder did, because you lot come at us kind of people very hard. It's all his own opinion.
Yeah, and he will die on this hill. Like you teased me with the armor, you teased me with the more grizzled Batman, you teased me with the Batman Superman fight, but you didn't do the fight properly. I'm sorry, you didn't. And
it's a tough watch.
Yeah, and I will always maintain as well, Jesse Eisenberg was playing the Riddler. That was not Lex Luthor.
I think, again, if the plan would have led out, that's the thing, they messed with it so much that you never saw what they were doing. The Joker, you never got given the fleshed out version of what happened.
Yeah.
Everything was just a tease throughout the whole thing, and it never got to it.
Most of my issues with the DC, the DCEU as it was, is not with Snyder necessarily. It's with the studio meddling that led to what we got, basically. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, sorry, Snyder fans, the Snyder cut of the Justice League is not perfect. It's better, if you ask me, but it's not perfect.
Laferde, do you want any thoughts on DC, or you want to flag off before we wrap things up?
Oh no, I'm happy to let Kurt have a rant here.
I'll be here till the end of time if you let me.
He's really going for these Snyder fans, and he doesn't know. Kurt, thank you. 4 years of this, you have probably just shut this podcast down. We're going to get some Snyder movement come after us. It's going to be great. Right, I've got to point out, boys, we said it last week, we were waiting to speak to JC, who was obviously here a couple of weeks ago, from 2.5 Gamers, who has his own clothing brand, Graffiti Washed. And we said we were in talks with JC about potentially setting up a new promo code that we will promote, just like we do our other one, that we'll mention in a minute. But now, I will put the... What on earth was that noise?
I just coughed, are you alright?
It sounded like you were about to throw up.
Not that I know of.
You go, is that what it sounded like, Kurt, or not?
I heard it.
Oh, that's not...
JC's watching this now going, I'm taking that code back.
It just scared me. I was like, what was that?
Laferde's possessed.
I'm not even sorry.
Graffiti Washed. Well, I'll put the link down below for the Etsy shop, the JC's clothes, Graffiti Washed. You can use the code TalksWithDorks30, which, yes, gives you 30% off anything from his store. So please go check that out. Go buy something. I am definitely going to be picking up something. Check out the clothes. Thank you, JC, for sorting us out. We have 2 promo. It makes us feel more professional. We've got 2 promo codes, and the other one is obviously the same as always. If you're a card grader or someone that wants your cards graded, or a card collector, should I say, go to treefroggrading.com. Use the code TWD15 for 15% off. You can also, as we always say, don't forget, if there's any other promotions going on where they've got like a buy a bundle and get money off, you can add that code on top of it and get even more money off. Kurt, do the Patreon.
We are on Patreon. So not only are we posting exclusive content on there, there's more stuff in the pipeline that's going to be making an appearance on that Patreon sooner rather than later. And if you can subscribe to that Patreon and give us any money whatsoever, we'd be incredibly thankful.
Any money whatsoever.
Please, yeah, we're begging. But we want to make this podcast as big as possible. We want to make the wrestling shows as big as possible, as big as possible, and go for the full production value. We want to sign some of those amazing names and put on those amazing matches for you, and we can't do that without your help. We will make it worth your while, of course, with all the exclusive content, and of course, if you want to check out the full show of Never Say Die, our first wrestling show, you can see that on the Patreon as well. If you're a subscriber, you get it as part of the package. Or if you don't quite fancy doing the monthly subscription and you just want to watch Never Say Die, you can do a one-off payment just to get that show on its own.
What we should do, right, is all them promos we just done, We should just record one.
Get that on a soundboard.
Yeah, we'll just record one and we'll add it to the end of an episode to save us having to do it all the time. Let's go over to the social stuff. The third, do you remember any of our socials?
Nope.
All right, cool.
You knew I was going to say no anyway, regardless if I did it or not.
I mean, I'm just trying to give you something to do, mate, because you just sit there a lot, to be honest.
To be fair, I do actually have to make a public apology before we go.
Oh, right.
Why are you dropping your face like
Got
that?
a pause on everything.
Because I don't trust you because I can see the look on your face.
No, this one, right. So last time I actually turned up, me and Kev did an episode about Power Rangers, right?
Yeah.
And we were ranking our favourite Rangers. And I may have said a comment about someone being unbelievable that's upset Neve.
Are you actually trying to make up to your girlfriend on our podcast?
No, I'm not trying to do that at all. What my point is...
He's trying to get laid. You're trying
she
to get
thinks
laid
I'm going to say sorry, right? But I've been thinking about this. In 1999, yeah, I didn't even know Neve was alive for a start.
Was she alive in
Yes, she
1999? Okay.
And second of all, she fancies Roy Keane. Exactly.
To be fair, she fancies you. That was a problem already.
But she said that she found it a bit creepy when you were looking at her on the poster when she was getting dressed.
Sorry.
You don't remember when I put a picture in the chat of the poster and she said she sent it to me saying, every time I get dressed in the morning, Ryan's looking at me like that. It's from the Never Say Die poster.
Oh, don't say that. You get me in trouble saying stuff like that. What do you mean I'm looking at her? I'm looking at her.
I'm already clipping that and using it as the teaser.
Yeah.
So I was going to apologise for upsetting her, but you know what? She fancies Roy Keane, so she deserves it.
This conversation makes no sense.
It doesn't, but it's just an inside joke with me and Neve now, and apparently Ryan.
Laferde's having literally an argument with his missus via our podcast at the end. So she's going to have watched, by this point, probably about an hour and 20 minutes.
To be fair, she watches them anyway, so don't worry.
Good. She's subscribed.
I don't know.
Tell her to subscribe. And that's what you guys should do. Subscribe, like, follow, comment, leave us a review on any of these sites like Spotify.
For more amazing content like this.
Yeah, which is just...
To be fair, we couldn't have done this for the Patreon because she wouldn't have paid for that.
But we won't pay. And I've completely forgot what I was going to say, right? Like, we've had 2 incidences in this one episode where things have got weird. And both of them were people in glasses. So I'm just saying...
Hold on a minute.
You make me know
what's got weird here?
You've just had an argument with your missus on my podcast, mate, or our podcast. It's our podcast. I get it. It's it's all of our podcasts, but I don't need you to try. What's Kurt done?
Yeah.
You know all the stuff that you can't do behind the scenes.
Well,
Kurt's generally doing it all before I even know.
So what's that weird? What's weird about that?
What's weird about you resolving an argument with your missus on the podcast?
I haven't resolved it. I've made it worse. But what I mean is. At least
you're self-aware.
So now what's going to happen? People are going to go, well, what's going on? We're going to probably get messages of people going, well, what's going on with the first arc? So next week, we're probably going to have to bring this back up.
Yeah, we're getting interactions, mate.
Right, whatever. At Talk Dork Podcast for the podcast side of things, at Gaming with Dorks for Gaming with Dorks, and Talk Dork Wrestling for all the wrestling stuff. I'm Ryan, that's Kurt, and that's a very in trouble Laferde. See you later.
Good mate. Long time no see.
Yeah, I know,
That'll become
right?
more than in a second.
God,
Wait to find out what happens next, because we've had a few hiccups.